turned away, and the Capitals will hang on and win it. Valiant effort by the Bruins, but could not come from behind for the second time tonight. They will fall 4-3, their ninth.
Mid 98.5 The Sports Hub of Joe Murray. Here till midnight tonight. If you want to react to the Bruins or you're coming home from the game, you can certainly do it here at 617-779-0985. We're on YouTube as well. What's up to the fam already in there, Steve? He's ready to go. 9 straight losses for the Boston Bruins. I think we already know they've waved the white flag. I've been consistent on this. The Bruins are closer to the lottery than they are to the playoffs. I said that before the trade deadline. I've been consistent on it for weeks. And the drive for 5 is real. And for those that don't know what the drive for 5 is, it is a top 5 pick in the NHL draft. And that's where the Bruins are going with another loss tonight to Washington. Now, I do want to get into Swayman's night. I do want to get into the fact that they can't score. Pastrnak, as you just heard there, got sniped late in the game or stopped. And just wanted to talk about Alex Ovechkin and just how outstanding he has been. And, well, we'll start it off there tonight at 617-779-0985. We have 2 straight hours here on the Sports Hub. We got Skaz. I'm here as well. We both just sat through that performance tonight. And, you know, now when we watch the Bruins, it's, well, you know, they scored 3 goals. And, well, this was their best performance in a while. It's that when it comes to the Bees right now. Bees are now 36-9 on the season. So we'll get into a little bit of Bees talk. I got plenty to get into. Bruins, some Patriot stuff, NFL news. Bill Parcells. I know Skaz has some thoughts on that. The Celtics, well, there's more haters out there today. So I'll let you hear about that. The Red Sox, Garrett Crochet gets a new deal, and now he's on the mound tomorrow. There's a photo circling around today regarding Rafael Devers, and it's April Fool's Day, so I don't know what to believe. And I just got some hypotheticals that I wanted to have for the next couple of hours here. We're here. Yeah, you can join us on YouTube. We're here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. We'll get a quick look at the headlines, and then we'll get into 2 hours straight of the night show. Murray till midnight here on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
From the Town Fair Tire Studios, this is Boston's home for sports.
He scored! What a blast by Pastrnak! Waiting, Holiday screams, good night!
WBZFM and HD Boston 98.5 The Sports Hub. Beasley Media Group Station.
Sports Hub headlines. Presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Bruins fall to Washington tonight 4-3. Scored 2 goals in the third period. Washington, even though the Bees kept it close. So good effort. Good job. Good effort. Alex Ovechkin, a goal. He's 4 away from Wayne Gretzky's all-time record. Jeremy Swayman tonight, 28 saves in the loss. Bees have lost 9 games in a row. Robert Kraft spoke at the annual meetings today, saying the last 2 years have been his worst in his tenure. Bill Parcells added to the Patriots Hall of Fame as a contributor. Some NFL rule changes, new overtime rules. Both teams will have a possession. And replay will now have camera-based technology. And Joe Mazzulla named Eastern Conference Coach of the Month. Headlines. They're brought to you. Brought. Not brat. I don't know why I say that a lot. Is it my dialect? Well, it's brought to you by Safety Insurance. Providing comprehensive coverage for your auto, home, and business. Ask your independent agent about safety. I'm Joe Murray, and we're going to have an alert test coming up soon.
Here we go.
Boom. I win. Kaboom.
Yeah. Hit somebody.
We've got a passion for Boston sports.
Get angry.
98.5 The Sports Hub.
Wow. Back to Carlson. Throws one in front. Score. Ovechkin had the puck ricochet to him. And an empty net in front of him. And there is number 891 in the career of Alex Ovechkin. And it's 2-0 Capitals.
Well, at least we get 2 hours of a full show. I know we were preempted by the Bees. We'll have the Celtics tomorrow. All week long we have games. But you know what? We're going to take you with extended coverage until midnight. Only place in the city you can get that, by the way. Local talk, it's where it's at, everybody. So again, you coming home from the game tonight, 617-779-0985. What'd you think of Alex Ovechkin's night? Alex Ovechkin moved 4 goals away from breaking Wayne Gretzky's NHL record. His 891st goal of his career tonight against the Bees. It helped them give him a 2-0 lead. It was on the power play with 4 minutes left in the period. And I thought the Bruins crowd gave a mixed cheer. A little bit of a pop there. A little bit of a pop at the end of that. Ovechkin has 12 goals in his last 18 games. 8 games remain during the season. I think he gets it. The 39-year-old Russian has 38 goals this season, on track to reach 40 for the 14th time in his career. That would be the most in league history. He'd missed 16 games because of a broken left fibula this year. I don't know if we talk about this man enough. But greatness was on the ice tonight. His goal was the difference. Somebody's going to tie Wayne Gretzky's? Like, that's insane to me. You know, I do want to give him a shout-out, though. I thought the Marc-Andre Fleury moment the other night was really nice. Did they lose the game? I can't remember what happened. Did they lose the game? But everybody was going back to the tunnel. And Ovechkin yelled for everybody that went down, hey, let's shake Marc-Andre Fleury's hand, who is, I believe, the backup. Kind of just finishing out his career this season, said he's going to retire.
Yeah, that was the Wild, right? The Capitals lost 4-2 that night.
Yeah. But he had everybody stand out on the ice, and it was just Fleury. You know what's interesting? Do you think about, like in your head, Skaz, do you think Pittsburgh Penguins, Washington Capitals rivalry?
Oh, yeah.
No, it is a rivalry.
Yeah.
No doubt about it.
Crosby, Ovechkin, those early days.
But, like, you know, I had to think about it for a little bit. Like,
well, they almost flip-flopped where Pittsburgh was so dominant early and those Washington teams weren't as great, and then Washington got really good and Pittsburgh took a step back. So they were never quite at the teams at least at their peaks at the same time.
Yeah, I was thinking about this, but I believe Ovechkin has more goals against Fleury than anybody else, but yet respects him more than anybody else. But just, you know, I'm not saying it was a farewell tour for Fleury, but Ovechkin's just been doing a lot of just good things leadership-wise in the game of hockey.
I mean, even last night, you saw him out with Riley Leonard, the BC kid that made his debut tonight. He was at BC bars basically hanging out all night, like singing with the boys and hanging out. Didn't seem too worried about the Bruins. It seemed like they were just kind of getting ready. But I thought that was awesome, you know. You don't really see that in other sports where, you know, someone's making their debut the next night and there's a legend, you know, because that's what Alex Ovechkin is. He's been doing this for 20 years. They had a stat. It's his 19th season with 30-plus goals. That's unheard of.
You know what's funny is we talk about like some of the discussion now is Connor McDavid versus Sidney Crosby, right? Most people I talk to will tell me that McDavid's far and away better than what Crosby was at his age. But yet I look at it, Crosby won championships, right? He was on championship teams. When I think of Ovechkin, though, I used to think of him as how some may look at Pastrnak at times. Great goal scorer, doesn't really defend, big guy, but wasn't tough, and then something clicked. Maybe it was all those games against Pittsburgh and realizing that he can still score but also be physical. I don't know. Something changed with him. But that's a legend, everybody. That guy's a legend. And he scored tonight in Boston against a struggling Jeremy Swayman, who has now lost 6 consecutive games. There's a lot going on here with some of the athletes in Boston. Swayman, no doubt about it, is struggling. Like, no doubt about it. We're watching what's going on with Rafael Devers as well. But I think they should, in a way, I know there's like these tough, hard-nosed people that will say, no, you put him out there every night, because I was that guy. I don't think Swayman was awful tonight. Please don't think I'm defending him by any means. But the goal that was the game winner kind of went off low right? That's how it's working for Swayman right now. His existence is not good for the Bruins at the moment. His presence, although he makes good stops, things like that happen on the ice. I mentioned the Bruins drive for 5. They lose tonight. They now have an 8.5% chance at a top 5 pick. Also, I was kind of hoping for Pasta to tie the game up. Maybe you get a little bit of Pasta versus Ovechkin in an overtime situation. Just give it me something, will ya? He got stoned. They can't score. I've said this a lot of years now, because I've worked a lot of Bruins games now. When you score more goals, you win games. So this is what the Bruins have done. This was courtesy of Bob Beers after postgame. They have been outscored 38-14 during this losing streak. That's doubled up plus more. I don't know what Joe math is on that one.
How many goals did you say Ovechkin had in his last 18 games? What do you have, 12 goals?
I will tell you, actually.
Who has more goals in their last 20 games?
Ovechkin has 12 goals in his last 18 games.
And the Bruins have scored, 14, you said?
They have 14-9.
Not good. Not good.
This aren't even opinions, guys. These are facts.
They can't score.
They can't score.
And look, I'm with you. You know, Swayman has not been great, but tonight he was not the problem. He was fine tonight.
You go down 2-0 is an issue, right? You come back, you get the crowd going into it. You tie it up 2-2. It's then it's 3-2, 3-3. Like, goal goes off a skate, kind of trickles by. See you later, big boy. You lose. You had a chance at the end there. You just played the highlight. They had a chance. But I wonder if people are going to be hard on Pastrnak now for that one. He scored, right, earlier?
He had 2.
It's his 50th multi-goal game.
They're just waste. What a waste. He's the only guy that's any good out there right now. And even he wasn't great tonight. He had some rough turnovers, bad penalty, but he still scores.
But you know what, though? It looked better than it has. What are we going to do here? What is there, 8 to 10 games left? What do you want me to do after the game? You want me to just keep giving the percentage for a top 5 pick? Is that what we do? And keep saying that they can't score goals and that Swayman Swayman just being around right now, Scaz. Like if Swayman was with us right now, right? Something would break. Or like that static would come back that we get every once in a while, you know? Like it would just right now his presence alone is a problem. It wasn't the issue tonight. But just everything he touches, he bruises right now. I just think he needs to go away for a little while. And I know he doesn't deserve a nice vacation. He doesn't. But if anybody needs a real reset, like the word reset, it's Jeremy Swayman. And when this year's over, David Pastrnak, he better bulk up a little bit because it's going to be a bumpy road. Just entertain me for a second here, Scaz. Just entertain this. Alex Ovechkin, getting back to him, is one of a kind, right? He's just he's a sniper. I mentioned that. He started to use his body, started to play physical. Maybe it was dirty at times, but it was championship hockey. Do you think it could ever happen for Pastrnak like that? Ovechkin's a legit. Listen, Pasta's a sniper too, right? I'm not comparing Pastrnak to Ovechkin. But could Pastrnak have that type of career? Could he have it? Could the Bruins retool, rebuild? He's the best player. Then he starts becoming a little bit more physical and might fight. Remember he got punched in the face last year in the playoffs and everybody cheered him? I'm just curious the direction for Pastrnak. Is Ovechkin a good comp for him? I'm just playing the game here. Because didn't Ovechkin get criticized as well like Pastrnak does? For not being physical and defensive. You're staying away from that one, Skess. I'm just wondering if it's was Pastrnak inspired tonight playing against Ovechkin? Is there a way that Pastrnak could continue to score goals like he does, but keep evolving his game just like Ovechkin? And I don't even know if Pastrnak can play as long as he can. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if anyone can play, that long. And if you watch Ovechkin, he does do a lot of concerting his energy. He's not exactly running around like a maniac out there. He knows where to be. He kind of lets the younger guys do a lot of the work. I don't think that's who Pastrnak is or will be any time in the future. But in terms of just having an elite sniper on your team and building around that guy, the Caps kind of failed is strong, but they struggled to put the right guys around Ovechkin. He would always get the points, and Backstrom was incredible, but they just couldn't get over the hump, even when they had Holtby, for a while there. So you just have to surround these guys with talent. And the Bruins, like the Patriots of the last couple of years, they just lack top end talent. They just don't have it. So for me, until Pastrnak is surrounded by top end talent, I don't want to call it a waste because what he's doing is impressive. You've noticed that the MVP talk has certainly died down over this losing streak, though. He was a -5 in Anaheim the other night, even though he scored a goal. That's tough to do. So, there's good and bad with Pastrnak. He's an elite goal scorer. But, yeah, I'm not going to fault him for anything this season. They need more talent, plain and simple. They don't have enough talent.
Just the Ovechkin pasta thing, though, it's probably a pipe dream.
For anyone to be Alex Ovechkin is a pipe dream. I think Pastrnak is a fantastic, fantastic player. I don't know if he's going to score 30 goals for 20 straight years.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll leave it there at 617-779-0985. Oh, may I add just this one? This one I'm going to drive in there a little bit. Might not like this one, Bruins fans. Might not like this one. Well, I have to bring up Jim Montgomery for a minute here.
Monty.
Monty.
Old friend.
He's the guy who started the year. They didn't want to give him a contract extension.
The bald guy.
Calling out Swayman and Marchand. That guy?
Yeah.
Okay. So the Bruins have lost 9 in a row now, right?
That is correct.
Do you know how the Blues are doing right now?
I am very much aware, Joe, after just working this game. We did Coach of the Year candidates in the first intermission.
Oh, how'd that go?
Yeah, there was some familiar face in there. Good old friend Monty.
Monty, do you know that they are currently on a 9-game winning streak? At the trade deadline, Jim Montgomery's Blues had 66 points. The Bruins had 64. As of tonight, the Blues have 87 points, while the Bruins have 69. Nice. But what Ovechkin is doing at this age, man. I'm trying to have a takeaway of what Ovechkin's doing to the Bruins. As you can see, I'm reaching a little bit here.
Well, I mean, just listen to the crowd tonight, Joe. I'll play. I think it was the first Capitals goal, and obviously you heard the pop. We played the Ovechkin one, but the crowd tonight was a Capitals crowd, a Riley Leonard crowd.
What do you got back there?
Dowd moving in left circle, shoots and scores.
Ooh.
A short-handed goal for Washington, and they have a 1-0 lead.
I have a thought.
All the BC kids are there.
Tons. Oh, yeah. But just to throw it in there, do you think there's Ovechkin watch like McGuire? Dude, I know people.
Absolutely.
You know how many people I know in my life that went to go follow Mark McGuire when he came to the Mets? They went to the game to see if he would be there to break the home run record, right? Like, it was a thing. I'm not comparing Mark McGuire's home run chase.
No, but I think there were people in that building tonight to see Ovechkin. Absolutely.
Do you know I looked it up? Because when he scored the first goal, I think Johnson had it too, was he has scored 4 games in a game before, 4 goals. So he would have needed 5, right, to break the record. I was like, imagine if Swayman gave up 5 tonight.
That's what's worse than a golden sombrero, Joe? What's 5?
You know what I would pull out? I'd pull him if you want to crown him. Crown their ass.
I think Washington has. I think they have Tampa or Florida Wednesday. Then they play Chicago at home on Friday. Chicago at home on Friday. I bet you Wayne's in the building. I bet you he goes down there. If they're at home Friday, I imagine they're home Sunday as well. So he'll be there.
Coverage on this thing? You think it's talked about? I will say this. I've at least had a healthy dose of it, but I don't think it's like today, right? I don't usually watch ESPN. I was at Card Vault today, and we had ESPN on. And do you know at the top of every hour they talked about the Lakers and Luka and LeBron?
That shocks me, Joe.
I know, I get it, right? But I mean, this Ovechkin thing, I want to see it on TV tonight. Like, locally here, I'm trying to give you Bruins talk, but like Ovechkin's the story. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm with you. I do think it's a massive story. Maybe it is getting a little underplayed. Like, I remember being 10, 15 years old and hearing about Wayne Gretzky and Wayne Gretzky's records and how if he never scored a goal, he'd still have the most points in NHL history and all these crazy Gretzky stats. And to think that a guy's going to score more goals than Wayne Gretzky, I never thought I'd see that.
I thought Ovechkin was just a Russian sniper who, you know, I would never call him soft. But the reason why I'm bringing up the Pastrnak comparison is because there are people that are critical of Pasternak's defensive game. And you know what? As Pasta gets older, he's probably going to have to get bigger. And I know that locally here, people just think of Cam Neely, right? They just think of that type of guy. He plays wing, like, you know, Jerome McGinley was a great one, right? There were guys that could play out there. Growing up, man, Brett Hull is like someone that sticks out in my brain who could just score so many goals. I didn't think Ovechkin could do this. So did I think he was an amazing goal scorer, great player? When he won the championship, he went to the next level. He has taken his game. There's nobody who has improved their game to become a clear-cut Hall of Famer than Alex Ovechkin. And what he's about to do by even breaking Gretzky's record, he'll live on forever. I'm just wondering if there are other players who have a similar, you know, early thought on their career. Like, I don't know if Paster could play to 40. With all the money he's making, do you think he wants to? This is why what Ovechkin is doing is a huge story. Wayne Gretzky, people. I got another one in the NBA I'll give you later on tonight, but Wayne Gretzky's record is going to be broken in 4 goals from Alex Ovechkin. Not Sidney Crosby, not these other names that we've heard of for 40 years. Ovechkin, it's really, in a way, like, I remember him being somewhat dirty, Ovechkin. I remember when he took his helmet off and chased people around. Like, he's just like, but he got shined up. Like, the shine is getting brighter and brighter, man. I'm impressed. Call me impressed. Alex Ovechkin might be the last great winger, scorer that can play this late in his career and still score 40 goals. That's actually, no, Brett Hull did it, right? Brett Hull had to score 40 in his 40s, right? I'm trying to think. Well, there are guys who played until they're 40. Just did they have this type of production?
Gordie Howe scored 40 goals when he scored 44.
Take Gordie Howe out. All right, he probably scored 40 goals when he was playing in like the old man's league. You know, like that dude scores 40 goals in his sleep. It's got to be Brett Hull, right? Detroit, end of his career? No, huh? So he'll be the only other guy at 40 years old to score 40 goals? There's got to be another guy. If I'm making the shine brighter right now on Ovechkin, Well, now
I'm seeing Gordie Howe, age 40, scored 44. Ovechkin, age 37, scored 42 in the 22-23 season.
Yeah, Yager and Recchi played in their 40s, but never had that type of production. The most goals after being 40 is Yager. But he had 97, but how many more years did he play after? You mentioned Teemu Selanne was probably a guy, right?
Gordie Howe's the only guy to be 40 and score 40.
And it's about to be Ovechkin. That's another one. Gordie Howe, Wayne Gretzky, Alex Ovechkin? Just not the names I thought. Not the name I thought.
Joe, I got to break to you. Alex Ovechkin, pretty good.
He's pretty good.
He's pretty good.
Oh, remember when they played Washington? I was so pissed when they got all those guys. Who was it? Orlov?
Yep, Dmitry Orlov.
Who's the other
Garnet
guy?
Hathaway.
Oh, that guy sucked. I hated him.
Stiff?
No, because he'd be on the second line of the Bruins on this team.
Yeah, which might make you a stiff, Joe.
You know what's funny? Do you know that I had people bring this up to me today?
Stiff talk?
I had plenty of people reaching out to me about stiffs. And then they were like, hey, Joe, I think you really need to use some other positions. And I said, no, I just think center is good enough. A big is good enough. I wonder if we could do that with Bruins wingers.
We'd have Kevin on the phone for 2 straight hours, maybe.
Just wingers, right wingers since Camp Neely and take Pastrnak out of it. Second line, right wing.
Every bum Krejci had to play with.
Stiff. Joel is in Virginia. Hey, Joel.
Hey, Joe. Not taking anything away from Ovi. He's great, but you got to admit, if Super Mario didn't have to take those 5 years off, where he finished actually I think it's 202 goals less than Gretzky, he would have surpassed him, and Ovi wouldn't even be in the conversation right now. And the second thing is, we are officially dead last in the division with Buffalo's win. What's your thoughts on that? Thanks.
Yeah, tonight was a night to root for Buffalo against Ullmark. You know what I can't do? This guy's for real. I'm not even lying to you. I watched Mario Lemieux. Was the best player in hockey, walked away, became like the GM, and then came back like years later. Played at a high level, but he physically couldn't do it. He had
cancer. Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like
leukemia or something, yeah.
I watched Mario Lemieux as like, honestly, dude, like he's like I want to use Greg Maddux as the word. Like he was just, whenever I saw Mario Lemieux, he did something well. Even if he was slow, couldn't move, his back hurt him. Mario Lemieux to me was like one of the best players I ever seen. But you know what I get from Lemieux? Well, he played with this guy and that guy. Oh, the injuries. I sound like Mo from The Simpsons, didn't I? Yes, Mario Lemieux would have broken Wayne Gretzky's record if he was healthy. But that's why we play the games, right? This is why we are honoring Ovechkin for doing something that other people can't do at an age. So I'll agree with you that Lemieux would have. He didn't. And I know that Lemieux is that. Why do you think Lemieux wanted to come back? He was half the player he was and still could play. This is a good one. I just saw this come over here. Not my take. Oh, we got a break. I mentioned the home run watch just quickly. Gretzky's so beloved. Is this similar to, and again, not my take. Listener sent this to me. Is this like the Bonds Hank Aaron thing? Like the real champion, the real goal scorer, in my opinion, is Wayne Gretzky. Oh, if Ovechkin beat him, nope. The real one is Gretzky, in my opinion. I wonder if it's very similar to the Barry Bonds Hank Aaron thing. All right, we'll take a break. I'm Joe Murray here on the Sports Hub.
Don't go anywhere.
If I'm alive in the world. Song had to come out in 1999. And here we are in 2025 still rocking it as a bed. Please tell me that came out in 99, Skaz. Tell me it did.
2000.
Damn! It's close, though. It's close enough, right?
January of 2000.
Aha! So the song was made in 1999. Produced. Well, the Blues have now won 10 in a row, tying the game with 29 seconds left and then winning in overtime. We're not going to do this tonight. But one night, we're going to do this. Who is better, Claude, Butchie, or Monty? And I know that everyone's going to bow to Claude. Everyone's going to bow to the man. But I think it's an interesting one. Not tonight. We'll throw it in the air fryer and marinate that bad boy first. Anyways, we got Jake. He's in Winchendon. That's in Central Mass. Hi, Jake.
Hey. What's up, Joe?
How you doing?
Thank you for taking my call.
Yeah.
I just want to talk about Ryan Leonard. As a Capitals fan, watching the game in-house tonight, I thought for a rookie performance, I thought that was one of the most chippy, power forward-ish performances we've seen out of a rookie in a while.
What kind of performance?
What do you think?
A what performance?
Power forward-ish, like chippy, on guys' hands, shorter guy
forward.
going at it with the door off.
Okay. Are you a PC kid?
No.
No, okay. You're just a hockey fan that saw something out of the kid. And you were like, wow, that guy's a power forward.
Yeah. Well, he's not a power forward, but he's not playing like a skill guy, I feel.
What was the word you said then?
Yeah.
You said power forward-ish.
Yeah.
So I said power forward, and you say he's not one.
Fair enough.
So did he play like a power forward or not?
Yeah, he was running around like a guy on a mission. He wasn't trying to like beat guys one-on-one. He was trying to go through guys.
You think he's good?
I think he's very good. What do you think?
Where do you think he'd play on the Bruins?
On the Bruins, I think he'd play on the other side of Pasta. What do you think?
Well, I wish they could have him. That's what I think. Thanks, Jake. You got a long ride home, bud?
Yeah, we're almost back. If you could draft better, you could have had him.
You're right. Who'd they draft?
Yep.
Who'd they draft instead?
23.
Yeah, 23. You know.
Oh, you have a guy who knows his stuff, huh?
Yeah.
Do you know who?
You know.
Good question. We probably didn't have a draft pick.
Okay, thanks, guy. Talking. I thought they were going to tell me who he drafted. They drafted instead.
Joe, we have a rule.
No two people on the same call.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Also, Leonard was the 8th overall pick. The Bruins did not draft before 8 in that draft, so
Did they even have a draft pick?
they couldn't have had him.
No, did they have a draft pick?
I don't think so in 23.
23. Yeah, they didn't.
His draft comp, though, is Matthew Tkachuk. Is
that power forward-ish?
Ish.
Ish.
Does that even exist anymore?
Power forward. Unless it's a power forward of stiffs. Maybe we'll do a Bruin stiff night. I think I mentioned Hal Gill the other night. I got to think wing, though. Got to go wingy.
Kasper's Dogovins.
Oh, God, him in that penalty shot.
Don't bring that up around Majori.
I told you.
Still hurt.
Benoit Pouliot. That guy was a stiff.
Oof, yeah.
I'm sure there's... Marty LaPointe was kind of a stiff when they got him, but he was a leader. He won with Detroit. They all liked him. And then they would sign guys that were, good, but then at the end of their career thinking, maybe we can get something out of this guy. Who's the one they had to trade away there? Former Blues center there?
Oh, Backus?
Out. Stiff. At the end of his career, he was a stiff. Good player, though. Stiff.
Rick Nash, they did
he's
too.
a stiff.
He was good.
Yeah, he was good, but then he became a stiff.
Stiff.
Hey, what's up, Ian?
Joe, real quick, Bruins stiff, Nick Ritchie. Gotta be up there. Gotta be on the board. Real quick, 2 points on tonight. I'm with you as far as the record that Ovechkin is chasing. I got these tickets a couple of months ago with no hopes of going in there, seeing Ovechkin closing in on Gretzky, but tonight going in after the deadline, it was just like, I'm going there solely to watch Ovechkin and hope that he pops a goal. It's just one of those things where it's like, at this point, I think this is kind of what this Bruins team is going to be for the next couple of years. You're going to get kind of like the Red Sox have been over the last 2-3 years, more teams coming in to see their team play at the Garden, and you're going to get more 50-50 nights with home visitor fans than you're going to get home fans in the building. It's unfortunate, but it's just kind of the state of where the Bruins are as an organization. And nothing's really going to change until something changes up top or at a higher role within the organization.
All right, dude. I'm sorry you're upset. Bruins are making everybody upset. Because you go to games, you want... I mean, at least if you're going just for, to watch a good game, you got one tonight. I don't know how much more we're going to be able to talk about this. Right? Red Sox are going to be on at night. There's, without Ovechkin tonight, I don't know how much we're talking about this. Actually, I don't even know if we'll talk about it at all. But I am kind of interested in the Ovi chase, though. I remember back in the day when, great things were happening in sports, they would cut away. They'd be like, there's a no-hitter right now. You got to see this. And then you just, whatever they had on, you got to watch the no-hitter. You had to do it. I think I remember when Gretzky broke the record. Didn't he, do some dance or something? I can't. Why do I have that in my head? Gretzky, Blues. No, was it Blues? Was it Kings or Blues? I can't remember my Gretzky journey now. He finished with the Blues, right, Gretzky? See, I hate that about great players. Now it's what team do you relate? Ovechkin's a Washington Capital forever.
The Blues have Wayne Gretzky's number retired, I'm pretty sure.
I don't know how I feel about that.
The Miami Heat have Michael Jordan's number retired, which I think is wild.
Dumb. Stupid. Because, when you think Gretzky, in my head, it's Edmonton because I remember, the Bruins played them. And then when he was a King, that was the 90s, bruh. Maybe it is the Rangers. Oh, it was the Rangers. Of course it was the Rangers. Why do I remember that Blues season, though? For the St. Louis Blues in 95-96, he played 18 games, had 13 goals. In 95-96, he played 8 games. 18 games and had 8 goals and 13. He had 21 points in 18 games for St. Louis that year.
Yeah, he was a -6, though, Joe.
Yeah, it was the Rangers at the end. Damn. Why didn't I get that? Played a lot of games. 80, 74, 80, 79, 78, 78, 81, 80. He played 82 games. His very last season, he played 70. The year before that, he played 82. He had 90 points for the Rangers. 97 in year one. From 78 to 2000. This man dominated the sport. Just 2,800 points, no big deal. He had 73 shorthanded goals. All right, I'll stop glazing Wayne Gretzky right now. But that's why he's the great one, right? Oh, the Bees fans are excited about the Drive for 5, baby. Drive for 5 is real. Last place.
You ain't getting last place. Those the Blackhawks and Sharks really got to you. But Joe, I think you're onto something. What happens first? Jim Montgomery loses a game, or the Boston Bruins win a game?
I'm going to go Montgomery because I don't know when the Bruins will win another game. Tonight was a chance, right? Not going to lose the next one.
Not going to beat Montreal, you don't think?
What were they doing tonight? They lose? Of course, I give up the NHL scoreboard during every headline here. Montreal tonight, 1-3-2 over Florida. No.
Big win?
Yes. So, no. They look at the Bruins as, let's start a winning streak. Let's get right. They won in overtime, too, Montreal. How's Brad Marchand doing? Did he play tonight? Let's see. Marchand, 17 minutes on the ice. He had 2 giveaways. 1 blocked shot. He was a -1 on the night. Played 24 shifts. He did nothing. He's doing nothing. Oh, how could they give up Marchand and get that in return? I know he had an assist the other night to win the game, but it just doesn't help my convo. All right, Skaz. Well, we got another hour to go here, right? Is it okay since we just went crazy about Wayne Gretzky, can I go a little crazy about Steph Curry? Is that okay? We'll do that on the other side? All right. We'll talk about Steph Curry's night on the other side here on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
More Joe Murray coming up on the Sports Hub.
Back in Joe's day.
Well, it was, see, again, like, okay, so I was a kid. I was born. Think about this, guys. I was in 1982. I was born. Well, in 1986, like the year of 86, the Patriots played the Bears in a Super Bowl. The Red Sox lost to the Mets in the World Series. You remember that? Remember that? You know? I mean, you weren't alive yet, but you remember it, right, Bill Buckner? It was just like, how do you not know that? I believe the Bruins lost to Edmonton, if I'm not mistaken. Right? Bruins, Edmonton. And then the Celtics played Houston in the the Celtics played Houston in the NBA Finals and won. Why am I blanking on this? Oilers and Bruins. Wrong year. Not sure why I thought it was that. 88. Boston Bruins. 88. Same time, not same year. Close enough though, right? That's like my first thoughts of like Wayne Gretzky, Edmonton, like that whole run. It's kind of where it all pops in my head. And I know the Islanders, right? Or was it the Islanders? Never mind. Steph Curry. I got to look this up now. This is what happens. You remember something, but then it's not clear in your head, and then you got to use Google. Steph Curry's awesome. Steph Curry, listen. Steph Curry has been my favorite player in the NBA for a while now. Do I think he's ruined the game? Absolutely. Do I credit him for being his size and reinventing the game? Absolutely. Do I think he's the best winner of our time? Probably better than LeBron. Yeah. Who was better for the game? LeBron. You don't want to hear it, but it's true. But tonight, Steph Curry passed Kareem Abdul-Jabbar for 40-point games. I just watched the Celtics City last night. How many times Kareem hit game-winning hook shots? He was right near the hoop. All he had to do was boop, boop. Like, have you seen the show Lil Dicky? Oh, Dave? Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's in it. All Kareem had to do was just beep. And he played with like Oscar Robinson and I don't know, Magic Johnson. Pretty good guys, right? Steph Curry just shoots the ball. He's little. He's amazing. He's the first player in NBA history tonight with more than 45 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, 5 steals, and 10 threes made in a game. And he did it in 3 quarters. He's amazing. Why am I getting all nostalgic over everybody else being good?
Is this something, though, and I hadn't really thought about it, but you mentioned, Ovechkin's 39, Curry's 37. We obviously all know what Brady did. Is this kind of like the new athlete, with the training regimens and the nutritionists and everything that goes into it now? It's a business for these guys, too. Is this something we're going to be seeing more of?
Ooh.
Like guys, I know we see guys retiring earlier because of, money.
Well,
and
concussions is one thing.
Absolutely.
Injuries is another. I mean, how long did Duncan play? 38 maybe?
Yeah, somewhere in there probably.
Like
he was on the Kawhi team. Yeah, 2015, 2016 maybe. But I just wonder if this is something we're going to see, more of. Guys playing longer, guys are healthier, manage their bodies better. Off the court, off the field, not doing as much extracurriculars as guys in the 80s and 90s and even early 2000s.
40 years old, Tim Duncan.
Yeah.
Kobe Bryant was, and I'm just using the 37. But Kobe had the ACL, what is it?
Achilles, I think, yeah.
And he was, I think Kobe was walking away from the game to he was regressing, and he didn't fall off or anything like that. But I think he went out on top for sure. Man, that's a good point, guys. The new Tom Brady, the Tom Brady athlete, now plays into their 40s.
Late 30s at least.
And because they've had so much time, they can break these records that have been standing tall for years. All right, well, we got another hour to go here. On until midnight, extended coverage. So if you're some people going to bed, well, good night. Some guys happy. Ian Bine said he high-fived Bird, McHale, Parrish, and Maxwell once. That's cool. That's cool. Yeah, I watched last night The Great Hope. It was very good. I think it's great. Now, Bill Simmons and his dad, you know. I didn't know that Bill Simmons' dad was a doctor. All right, late night cup of Joe coming up with you, Murray, till midnight. Skaz is here as well. You're listening to 98.5 The Sports Hub.
From the Town Fair Tire Studios, this is your home for every Patriots game.
Look into the end zone, trying to keep the play alive. Falling down, he goes to the end zone. It's caught. He's got it. Touchdown.
WBZFM and HD Boston. 98.5 The Sports Hub, a Beasley Media Group station.
Sports Hub headlines presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Bruins lose 4-3 tonight to the Washington Capitals. Alex Ovechkin 4 goals away from tying Wayne Gretzky. Scored to go up 2-0 tonight. Bees now in 5th place, or the drive for 5 is alive for a top 5 draft pick. Robert Kraft spoke at the meetings today, says the last 2 seasons were his worst. We'll have more coming up on this. Also, Bill Parcells added to the Patriots Hall of Fame. So new rule changes, overtime rules. Both teams will have a possession. And the chain gang is gone. Joe Mazzulla gets another Coach of the Month award. Headlines are brought to you by Safety Insurance, providing comprehensive coverage for your auto, home, and business. Ask your independent agent about safety. I'm Joe Murray. Your next update soon.
No matter where you go, you're always connected to Boston sports with the 98.5 The Sports Hub app.
Download it wherever you get your apps today.
Extended coverage. Extensive. Extended. You know what I can't have on in the studio after 11 o'clock at night? Just a hot take here. Out on the news. I can't do the news. I can't watch this. Hang on a second. Hang on. I can't do it. Skaz, I can't do it.
Joe is getting up, finding the remote. It's going to be tricky in the Sports Hub studio. Yeah, there you go, Joe. Get some SVP in. Why not?
I can't do it. I don't want to talk about what goes on in Canton. I don't want to see what happened at Tufts. I don't care, and I don't want to see it. Ignorance is bliss. No. I watch sports, so I don't have to deal with that. Imagine watching that, then going to bed. Out. I can't do it. Won't do it. I can't do the news. Now, we're going till midnight now. No more news in the studio. Out. Can't do that. No. Who watches the news before bed? How can you do that? Because then you lay in bed all day and you think about the news. And then you wake up in the morning and you watch the news. And it's like, how do you do that to yourself? How? Like, how do you do that? You know what I try not to do before bed? I know what I used to do back in the day. I used to nice joint before bed, Skaz. You know why? Because it would relax me. It was like a sleep mechanism, you know? I didn't think about anything. I just thought about being relaxed. Maybe I'd think about brownies or something in my sleep. I don't know. This I can't do. I'll sleep about Steph Curry threes and Ovechkin goals, though. Or I don't know, maybe the Patriots and Bill Parcells. Maybe I'll think about the old Parcells days.
Yeah, when he was abandoning you for the Jets, those glory days everybody's reliving today.
What?
Did Bill Parcells not abandon the Patriots for the Jets? Is that something that I was told as a child, but that was false, and now people are saying that that's not what happened? He didn't quit on them in the Super Bowl?
Well, Skaz, I think you heard right.
So that just, time heals all wounds is what we're going with, or I don't really get the Bill Parcells thing. I'll be honest with you, Joe.
I think you're onto something, but I might have to just I'm know what I'm doing right now. I was there.
No, and trust me,
I don't want to do that.
A lot of people doing the I was there, we really sucked.
Oh, dude.
He made us suck slightly less.
Dude.
Now he's in the Hall of Fame.
Let me tell you.
And talk about low bars.
Like, who's the worst team in the league right now? Like take the Pats out of it.
The Bruins?
No, in football.
The Panthers or someone like that.
Okay. They were worse than the
They're going to build a Ron Rivera statue for getting the Panthers to the Super Bowl, Joe?
Maybe they will someday.
Woof.
Well, they've been to 2 Super Bowls.
Right? Yeah. Congrats.
I mean, maybe they'll put...
Get a Fox. Him and Jake Delhomme.
Hey, yeah. John Fox won a Super... Did he win a Super Bowl?
No, with the Panthers, but I think who knows?
He might have went with there. I don't know. My point is this, though. The Patriots that we watch, the great Patriots, doesn't happen without Parcells. So the story, just so you need to know, he got hired to take over the Patriots by the old owner. They stunk. They were bad. But do you know what happened? I actually got to look this up now because Robert Kraft inherited Bill Parcells. He didn't choose him to be the new head coach. But no, it's right. It was 5-11. My bad. It was really his first year was that Bledsoe year. But I'm going to look up some of the. They went 5-11 that year, and I just wanted to pull up. Yeah, so his first year was They drafted Bledsoe number 1 overall. They had Scott Secules and Zoe. Zoe finished the year before as the quarterback. The thing with Zoe, to give him credit, Zoe gave the team life. They were going to go 1-16, bro. Or whatever it was. Ofer. Here comes Bill Parcells. He's got Leonard Russell, Ben Coates, Vincent Brisby. Like, he's got some players. But it's all Bledsoe. I mean, Bruce Armstrong was a really good left tackle, and Chris Slade was a guy that was still here. They had Andre Tippett on the roster. Like, Todd Collins was a good player. Vincent Brown was the Undertaker. Like, they had some good players. Sam Gash, you name them. They had good players. 94 was when they were put on the map. 94 was when they were put on the map. But to tell the story is, yes, Skaz, you're correct. In 1996, the Patriots went 11-5. They won the AFC Championship against the Jacksonville Jaguars with Mark Brunell. The Jaguars upset the Denver Broncos, who were the best team in the league. That was the year that Shannon Sharp was said, call the ambulance, call the National Guard. Do you remember that commercial? I
know that hurt you deeply. I know it did. You've talked about it. That hurt a young Joe Murray. Do you know why?
Because I had the football phone with the Patriot symbol. So we used to have real phones, and I had a football phone. And they were like, yeah, get your NFL swag or whatever. And it was, and you know what else they did that year? They did a fake punt to Teddy Bruschi. I mean, a fake, yeah. And Bruschi just dropped it. Triggering. It's very triggering right now. But you know what? They beat Pittsburgh in a fog bowl. Wait, is that Pittsburgh? Why am I yeah, they beat Pittsburgh in the fog bowl. And then they beat Jacksonville at home after getting the bye. And then they got Brett Favre, and you know what I'll never forget? When Brett Favre threw the touchdown to Andre Rison, he took his helmet off and ran down the field. To this day, I want to out on Brett Favre. Oh, this is live reaction right now. So what we didn't know, Skaz, was Will McDonough, who was the best writer in the business, was tipped off that Bill Parcells was upset. Bill Parcells wanted to basically be the GM of the team. They brought in, I'll get the guy's name in a minute here, but they had a GM working for the team. And there's a famous quote, hey, if you want me to cook the dinner, let me shop for the groceries. Kraft and Parcells had some issues. Now, the defensive backs coach on that team was Bill Belichick. And they were legit, man. Ty Law, Otis Smith, Lawyer Malloy, like they were Parcells drafted all these guys, Guess. I mean, how can you not look at Ty Law, Ted Johnson, Curtis? I'm not saying you can't.
But Joe, did he draft them?
He did.
I thought but didn't he want full control?
He didn't want Terry Glenn. Kraft made him draft Terry Glenn. He was right about it.
So all the good picks he was right about, but the bad ones he was wrong about.
He didn't want Terry Glenn. That's a fact. It's true. It's true. He didn't want him. He had a general manager that Kraft put in place. That's why this is why.
But before
not defending Parcells.
But before that, he was making every draft pick.
For the most part, he was, yeah.
For the most, so the good ones.
I mean, I wish I could give you a better accurate answer.
It's fascinating to me, the revisionist history.
But he got all his own guys. Like dude, Parcells was like the biggest jerk in the league. But you know what? Everybody wanted to play for him. And you're right. The night before the Super Bowl.
Yeah, he was doing Watergate, basically. They were tapping the hotel phones trying to figure out if he was talking or not.
He was calling the Giants about the job.
Yeah, let's build him a statue.
He was negotiating a contract. Somewhere it got leaked. Somebody got it, Hey, this could be Bill. But yes, did it distract the team from winning the game? Could they have beat the Green Bay Packers that day? Yes.
No, when I think my team's Hall of Fame, I think 500 record.
32-32 with a crap team.
Quitting on the team when they go to the Super Bowl screams Hall of Famer to me.
Yeah, he also stole Curtis Martin.
Hey, there you go. Another thing. Yeah.
Oh no, that was like a Jerry West, how he just hostage situation for the Gasols.
Oh, and what was it when Cuban and DeAndre Jordan locked themselves in the house in Dallas down there?
Kind of similar to that. Hey, I'm leaving. I'm going to the Jets, and guess what? Curtis Martin's coming with us. Oh, okay. But what happened was Pete Carroll took over. They still had that GM in place, and guess what they did? They started drafting worse. He found Willie McGinnis. He did. He found him. He found Bledsoe. He found Willie McGinnis.
He found the number one overall pick in the draft.
Hey,
Joe, we're giving him credit for Drew Bledsoe.
Rick Meyer was the better college quarterback.
This is like giving the Patriots credit for Drake May. He fell into their lap. I'm not giving you credit for that. He's the number one pick in the draft.
They could have chose Rick Meyer. He was at Notre Dame. Everyone wanted him. They didn't want the big stiff from Walla Walla, Washington. Imagine. No, don't pick the stiff. Get the guy that you know. Imagine people around here saying, get the Notre Dame quarterback. Imagine that today. Oh, this is great. I love this. Skaz, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. It's just that, for me, I can't look at... He's the guy who found Adam Vinatieri. He found him. He was kicking for the... What was that thing they used to do? What was the team that Vinatieri was on before the Patriots? He was playing in another country, in Amsterdam or something. I'm serious. They had Matt Barr as the They had Matt Barr as the kicker. He was very good. And they said, "No, man, this kid Vinatieri. That's Parcells." You know what? Yeah, he found a kicker. Woo! The greatest kicker of all time. Oh, I'm white knighting right now for Bill Parcells. I can't believe I'm doing this. Hey, can I throw another one out there? Imagine Bill Parcells going into the Patriots Hall of Fame before Bill Belichick. So you don't think 32-32 is good, huh?
I can't say that screams Hall of Fame to me, Joe. I just can't say it.
Yeah. The draft picks now, none of that? Yeah, you don't think
I'm sorry, but Drew Bledsoe at 1 isn't really
so how
persuading
about
me.
out of military? No?
Sure. Great. Best kicker in history.
Willie McGinnis?
Hall of Famer.
Teddy Bruschi?
Good player.
Teddy Bruschi led the nation in sacks as a defensive end. He turned him into a linebacker. He did. No?
I'm sure not just the NFL and the size of left tackles and defensive ends didn't change him into a linebacker.
Broke the sack record in college, and they changed his position. No? Nothing? Ben Coates turned into like the best tight end in football.
So he drafted all those guys, but he was mad that he couldn't draft the other guys he wanted to draft?
Yes, because...
Okay. Just give him credit for the good ones.
It's because Kraft meddled. Oh, Skaz, yeah, I'm gonna die on this hill. Oh, no. What have we seen? Skaz, what have we seen with Bob Kraft meddling? What have we seen? When he's involved, how do they look?
I don't know. You think he had anything to do with Drake May? Who gets credit for that, Joe?
Elliot Wolf.
There you go. And Belichick, it was all Kraft. It was Mac Jones, right? Belichick doesn't get any blame for that one. You know what a real good coach would do with a guy like Terry Glenn? Make him a good player because he was a talented player.
Well, he made the Pro Bowl as a rookie and with
pretty
Parcells.
Good. And he hated him.
He called him she.
Yeah.
No, legitimately called him she.
I just have a tough time with the Bill Parcells revisionist history.
Oh, man.
Turned his back on you.
No, he did.
Went to your biggest rival.
The biggest rival because he hated Kraft. In a way, like I'm thinking back on it.
Let's crown him. You want to crown him, Joe? Crown him.
I mean, he turned the Jets around, dude.
So the Jets should put him in their Hall of Fame.
They should. This is great. This is the best conversation I've had all day. I'm curious how others feel about this. Why am I on the Bill Parcells side and you are not? This we're not seeing. Is this Brendan Glasheen? What are you doing, Brendan?
I'm cracking up at this conversation, Joe. I thought you may have needed someone to call to help you power through the start of this 11 o'clock hour since it's so new to you. But
how you doing? What's going on? Where you working tonight?
I'm on my way home from Maine.
How'd it go?
Celtics playoff game.
How was J.D. Davison tonight?
He was really, really good again. 36, I think it was. Double-digit assists. He's going to be he's an NBA player. I don't know if it's at the Celtics because it's pretty well documented, right? Like how hard it will be to make that team. But he's electric, man. Like that dude deserves a shot somewhere. So this is his third two-way contract, so he can't be a two-way again.
Yeah. I've seen you on television with like Lisa Leslie.
Yeah, I got home from Miami about 10 days ago. It was a great experience. Lisa Leslie is awesome.
How tall is she?
6'5".
And do you think she can still dunk?
Yes.
Okay. Confirmed. Brendan Glasheen and Lisa Leslie can still dunk.
Joe, I was going to text you this, and Scats. That chicken nugget thing you guys did Friday, all time, it was fantastic. Now, I must admit, I listened on the podcast, and then I said, what am I doing? I'm going to scroll back on YouTube and get the visual. It was freaking hilarious.
So I'm glad that you at least were entertained by it. I think we did that on a Friday night because I don't know who was watching, to be honest with you. So thank you for going back and watching it in time. We had blindfolds on, Kelly's roast beef T-shirts for our blindfolds.
I know. I couldn't tell what those were, to be honest. I'm like, what are they wearing on their faces?
Hey, do you have a take on Parcells to the Hall of Fame? Pat's Hall of Fame?
Yeah. So Skaz and I are like the same age, right? But when I would go watch the Patriots at a younger age when they were just kicking off the dynasty, I have cousins that are almost 50, and they'd be like, Brendan, it used to not be like this, meaning they raved about Parcells and Bledsoe for saving, and others, of course, on the defense, saving the reputation of the organization from going into even a worse hole. So, but I kind of get what Skaz is saying. Like, when you look at the resume, you look at the numbers, it's not like all that eye-popping. I don't know. I'm kind of in the middle. Like, I kind of get why he means something in Patriots history. I mean, Skaz, he's not going in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. He's just going in the Team Hall of Fame. I think that's worthwhile.
I think he should be in the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
All right.
Wait, is he? Wait, I think Parcells is. Now I have to look this up.
Yeah, he's a Hall of Fame.
Yeah, he's a Hall of Fame. All right. Then why are we even complaining about the Patriots Hall of Fame then?
Because what he did with the Patriots is not Hall of Fame worthy.
Oh my God!
So what, Joe? Just because you're an NFL Hall, so Randy Moss, like every guy that had a stint with the Patriots, so Darrelle Revis should be in the Patriots Hall of Fame.
No.
So what are we doing? He won a Super Bowl with the Patriots. That's a better resume than Parcells.
So I think Parcells' 4 years in New England was more influential than maybe Pete Carroll's 3.
Okay, so Pete Carroll's the bar. He shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame either.
What do you got going on, Glasheen? When's the next game?
Maine is actually on the road Thursday, so we won't do that. But if they need the Osceola Magic, they've got Mac McClung. They need them to lose Thursday so they can come back home on Sunday.
Mac McClung?
Is in the G League, yeah.
Mac McClung? Oh my God! And you think he'll make the Hall of Fame someday for the slam dunk contest?
Maybe the G League Hall of Fame if they have one.
All right, Brendan. Appreciate you, buddy.
Yeah.
Good talking.
Yeah, you're keeping me sane on the car home, so keep it up.
All right,
you guys are great.
Skaz and I are going to go at it all night long on this Parcells thing. In or out on Parcells to the Hall of Fame, 617-779-0985. He did quit the night before the Super Bowl.
He quit on you, but the night before the Super Bowl. That matters.
Can I Men in Black, like, your memory for a second here?
Sure.
Did Parcells have a gripe versus Kraft?
Yes.
In hindsight.
Yes.
So as much as he Benedict Arnold the Patriots.
So just because he was right in his vindictiveness, we should give him a pass.
Well, you know what's funny? I think Belichick was right in his vindictiveness, but was given a rope so long that he did it to himself. Like, Skaz, I wish I could sit here right now and tell you I'm Belichick over Kraft. I think I am. I think I am.
I'm Brady over both of them.
Fine. But I think Parcells had a better beef than Belichick. Yes. At some point, Robert Kraft somewhat is the bad guy here. I guess all things can be true. All right, we'll take a quick break. I went late. Glasheen's calling from Maine. We got Maine updates. Lisa Leslie Heights. Parcells talk. We went late. We'll take a quick break. I'm Joe Murray here on the Sports Hub.
Don't go anywhere. There's more Joe Murray.
All right, back here, 98.5, the Sports Hub. Well, Skaz and I are going at it regarding Bill Parcells. It's interesting from, like, a listener standpoint. Me, I'm 43 and lived it. Skaz did not. So from afar, Skaz is like, Bill Parcells.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to tell me I'm too young and I'm an idiot and the Patriots sucked so bad that a coach who was 500 and quit on them in the Super Bowl should be in their Hall of Fame, fine. Yeah, that's fine. I just think that's a pretty embarrassingly low bar for your team Hall of Fame.
Well, speaking of embarrassing, that's what the Patriots were before Parcells. Parcells won 32 games in 4 years. He had 3 winning seasons, went to the playoffs twice, and the Super Bowl. In the 6 years before Parcells, he was a good head coach in the league.
Absolutely.
Won a Super
Without
Bowl.
a doubt.
Could you admit that he was a great talent evaluator? Like found Lawrence Taylor?
Yes. Does finding Lawrence Taylor and winning a Super Bowl with another team get you in the Patriots Hall of Fame?
Do you think that the draft picks that were made while he was there...
Draft picks that he bitched about not having control over.
Do you think that... Well, it was more the roster than the draft picks. But do you think that those guys... Like Ted Johnson, who I worked with a million times, told me that Belichick pulled him aside at the combine and talked to him about defense, but it was Parcells that wanted him. Like, Parcells drafted him. Like, they took a chance on Curtis Martin. He blew his knee out at Pitt. That's what I'm trying to say is I think that players look at Parcells as the guy that was a talent evaluator.
I get all that, but I'm also... I think the Patriots sucked and Parcells made them... I just think it's overblown. You were in the Super Bowl in 85. You won 11 games in 86. I don't know, you were 6-10 in 91. Like... Yes, you were 1-15. You were 2-14.
Got smoked, and then they blew up the team.
So getting blown out in the Super Bowl worse than having your coach quit on you in the Super Bowl. I just think the whole thing is overrated.
I'll have to think about that one.
Like, they were bad. The Patriots sucked. I get all that, but like, you weren't as bad as you advertise it. Like, it's all It's all hindsight. It's everything.
Do you think Bill Parcells helped change the franchise?
Sure. Yes.
That's why he's in the Hall of Fame.
I mean, yeah, good for him. I just think it's kind of an embarrassing bar.
Okay, it's embarrassing. So, what does this all mean, though? Okay, so
Doc Rivers, he should have his put him in the rafters. He won a ring.
But you bet you he does.
Won a ring.
No. Okay, well, you got your take. I got my take. Good. There's a reason why it's happening, right? This is a craft, like. Something crafty. I hate to use it, but this is a crafty message. To me, this is about Robert Kraft, not about Bill Parcells. Somewhere in here, the message of Bill Parcells going into the Hall of Fame might have something to do with, I don't know, public perception, the look. Maybe Kraft wants to get into the Hall of Fame. Like, the fact that Kraft's not in the Hall of Fame and trying to, and is holding out a guy that's in the actual Hall of Fame, but not in the Patriots Hall of Fame, I think it's a step forward for Kraft. So I think this, in a way, is a public, it's a PR stunt.
It's good PR. If Bill Belichick was still the head coach of the Patriots, is Bill Parcells in the Patriots Hall of Fame?
I'm going to say no.
So he's really deserving then.
How the hell is Parcells in before Belichick? Could that be the angles, guys?
A lot of angles, Joe. Belichick show up for the Parcells ceremony.
I think it's a PR. Ooh. So, okay. So we now know that Parcells is showing up?
Well, what do you think? We get him on the Jumbotron, that beautiful video board, get a nice video?
Hey, Bill, how you doing? Do you want to be in the Patriots Hall of Fame? Well, I wasn't really wasn't that the quote? Well, I didn't really think it would happen, but if you're asking me, sure, I'll take it. That was pretty much I'm paraphrasing.
Yeah, I think the quote in Karen's article was he wasn't expecting it, but he wasn't shocked either, or something like that.
So I don't know. I mean, does Parcells even go?
Yes, he'll be there.
So then is Bill there?
I think yes. It depends. Maybe North Carolina's got spring game or something.
Got big game against NC State or something.
Yeah, who knows?
Wake Forest, Thursday night, big Thursday night game. ESPN game, 15-point favorites. Will Belichick cover the spread? All right, we were supposed to go to break early, weren't we? Ray's in Boston. Hey, Ray.
What's up, brothers? How you doing?
Hi.
I got a couple of things. I was born in 85, so I didn't even know Boston was in New England. I didn't even know I lived in New England. That's how bad the Patriots were. I didn't even know I was a San Fran fan growing up. And at the end of the day, Parcells even coming here was news. So it made news, and it made something happen in the city that sparked change. And at the end of the day, Belichick's from the Parcells tree. And Belichick gives Parcells a whole bunch of credit just for him having the knowledge he has, right? So we wouldn't have had the 20 years we had with Belichick without Parcells.
Yeah, without Parcells, you don't have Bledsoe, you don't have Belichick. No doubt about it.
It's sad that we had to go that low, but you understand how awful we was, man. I didn't even know that we existed. I didn't even know. I
will tell you this: ESPN nonstop was Bill Parcells the head coach. Who's he going to draft at number one?
Exactly.
The draft was a big deal then. This I think when Jerry Maguire came out, right? Wasn't Bledsoe in Jerry Maguire? Yeah. Yeah, I know. I'm doing movies and sports right now, but I'm pretty sure that was the same time. 94. Mike's in Providence. Mike.
That we had to go that low.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Hey, buddy.
So, I'm not a Patriots fan. I'm a Giants fan, guys. But I will say this. Parcells belongs in the Patriots Hall of Fame for this specific reason, all right? Without Parcells, Belichick wouldn't be a coach, okay? He gave him his opportunity up in New York, and then, or maybe Cleveland first. He was there first, but I don't really know that much about that. But without him, you wouldn't have Belichick, and you wouldn't have all the success that they had. I believe the call before was saying the Patriots were irrelevant. Giants fan, guys. Why not put him in?
And I'm sorry, your radio. How about this one? Let me give you one more. Parcells not only bailed on the Patriots, but he bailed on the Jets and gave Belichick the job without even talking to him. And then Belichick was like, "Ha!" But crafty Bob has already got Belichick on the phone. And then when they go to introduce Bill Belichick as the new head coach of the Jets, I resigned as the HC of the NYJ on a napkin. Cocktail napkin. It's beautiful, Skaz. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing. This is Patriots porn, baby. Lather it up. Get the leather if you have to. Pull out the spandex. Oh, I love this. Forget the Brady stuff. It was all because of Brady. I'm going to end it there. But, man, if you can give me Kraft, Parcells, Belichick, whoo! I bet you Kraft loses that battle. I think in the end, public perception here in New England, Parcells, Belichick in, Crafty Bob out. I shouldn't have called him Crafty Bob. But you know what? This is a crafty move. A very crafty move. All right, let's do the final headline of the night. I'm Joe Murray here on the Sports Hub.
Essential Sports Hub headline presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Bruins lose 4-3 tonight. They've lost 9 in a row. Ovechkin, though, 4 goals away from Wayne Gretzky. Scored tonight to light the lamp. And, well, the Bruins.
So call the dogs off. Send the National Guard, please. They need emergency help. Please help these folks. They coming. Help is on the way. Help is on the way. Help is on the way, I promise you.
I remember it like it was yesterday. Patriots lost to the Broncos that day, 34-8. It was November 17th, 1996. The date, November 17th, 1996. The Patriots were 7-4, hosting the 10-1 Denver Broncos, led by Terrell Davis. And, well, it was a welcome to the NFL for Drew Bledsoe that day, who went 22 of 41 for 212 yards and, well, was sacked twice and threw an interception. John Elway had a great day, threw a touchdown pass to Terrell Davis, who also rushed for 32 attempts for 154 yards. There was one other attempt that day. It was from Tom Tupa, the punter, who, on a fourth down play, did a fake punt to a wide-open Teddy Bruschi, who dropped the ball. Curtis Martin that day, 7 carries for 13 yards. Did have a touchdown, though, and they got the 2-point conversion. Ben Coates, 5 catches for 48 yards that day. Terry Glenn, the great Terry Glenn, 2 for 22 that day. Todd Collins, 12 tackles. Lawyer Malloy had 12. Chris Slade, 9 in the sack. Ted Johnson, 8 tackles that day. They got run on. They lost 34-8. Scaz, I got one more for you tonight. So you think Bill Parcells quit on the Patriots?
Joe, that's what I've been told my entire life.
Okay. Did Tom Brady quit on the Patriots?
Not the week before Super Bowl. Not when they had any chance of doing anything. No, Tom Brady did not quit on the Patriots.
He didn't quit on the Patriots.
No.
So the reason why Bill Parcells left the Patriots was because of why? Kraft. What was the reason why Tom Brady left the Patriots?
I lean Bill Belichick.
Okay. Both left.
He also didn't do it in the middle of a season or in the middle of a playoff run, and didn't have the Watergate phone scandal with the hotel phones either.
Did he leave?
Yeah, he left. That's what players do.
Because
he had a disagreement with the coach and the owner.
Ownership didn't want to pay him.
He also won 7 Super Bowls and was the greatest of all time, Joe.
But with the Patriots,
he wasn't 32-32 and checked out for a Super Bowl. I'm just giving you the facts, Joe. I'm just giving you the facts.
I love this.
Tom Brady 7 Super Bowls with the Patriots, or 6 with the Patriots. I'm sorry. Bill Parcells 0 and a 500 record. I'm not going to compare their resumes.
So Parcells leaving.
Yes.
Brady not leaving.
I think when you win 6 Super Bowls and are the greatest of all time, there's some leniency there. He didn't go to a direct rival. He wasn't on the phone with them during a playoff run. I think it's a different situation.
Well, okay. But do you think the issue was Mr. Kraft?
I think he was part of it.
Part of both, right?
Correct. And if Parcells had such an issue with Mr. Kraft, is he going to have his best assistant coach become his head coach, Joe?
Well, he took him with him.
Yeah, originally, right? And then they said, you can't do that.
Well, there was some
draft pick swaps.
There was a lot of court stuff going on with them.
When I think Hall of Fame, I think litigation, Joe. That's what I think. Oh, yeah.
I mean, yes, yes. I think that they lost. They literally lost Curtis Martin. Like, he got pillaged away. I don't know. A Hall of Fame running back that probably could have helped Curtis Martin. I mean, probably helped Drew Bledsoe, would you think? Probably could have helped him a little bit, right? Just again, Bill Parcells left because of Kraft. I think it's fair to say that Brady left because of the same issues.
So 0 blame for Belichick then. 0 blame. Because things looked great when it was just Belichick.
When Kraft meddled, it was bad.
How about when Belichick was meddling with Matt Patricia as his offensive coordinator? How'd it look then?
That's why Kraft had to meddle.
Just painting the picture.
I gotcha. This is great. Could do this all night, guys. But you know what?
Yeah, bummer we don't have any full shows this week.
We got to go home. You know how I said no news before bed? I'm going to be thinking about Parcells' takes all day, all week. I'm like, so Skaz, what do you think about this? All right, we got to go home. Thanks, everybody, for joining us in chat. We're back here tomorrow. Thanks to James Scaramazino. I'm Joe Murray. And this hour of the sports has been brought to you by Valvoline. It's an oil change. Did I already do that? Go to getanoilchange.com to save 15% off your next drive-through oil change. Valvoline. It's an oil change, the official oil change of busy people. Bye!
More Joe Murray coming up on the Sports Hub.